I was just living my life. I was just a young mom, excited about my future, excited about raising my babies. I hopped in the shower just like everyone else every other day, and I found a huge lump. And I just had that terror that went through me.
It's still overwhelming, the number of women who get breast cancer and the number of women who still die of breast cancer.
Literally the day after my core biopsy, at about 2 minutes after 9 in the morning, the phone rang, and it was my surgeon. And I can still remember answering the phone, and I heard her voice, and she literally said, like out of a movie, she said, "Marcie, is anyone there with you right now?" And I thought for half a second about just quickly hanging out the phone. Nope, I'm not dealing with that. I don't want to hear it. I said, "No, I'm here by myself." And she said, "Well, pause. It's breast cancer."
A future without breast cancer requires people, and we need to invest in those people who are dedicating their lives to breast cancer research and treatment.
The technology Dynamo examines dynamic networks of molecules within cells and how those dynamic networks change in good prognosis breast cancer and bad prognosis breast cancer. Right now we're able to predict with 80% accuracy disease-free survival for at least 10 years for newly diagnosed patients.
The Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation has had a huge impact in my lab because it's funded the work for this project. The research that we do can contribute to clinical aspects of breast cancer. It provides insight into ways we can better treat breast cancer, because ultimately we need to understand what each individual patient's breast cancer is and how best to treat it.
Breast reconstruction treats the emotional and the mental and the psychological side of breast cancer. It's the difference of feeling fine and feeling normal for the rest of their life. The impact that I hope to bring to the Barrie community, especially with my training and fellowship through the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation, is to improve the access to breast reconstruction for ladies, to reduce the anxiety and to reduce the problems associated with going through treatments of breast cancer.
Without a doubt, my greatest fear was not living to raise my daughters. I mean, Dana was a baby. I was afraid she wouldn't remember me. And even Bryn at 2.5, I thought, if I die, they're not going to even remember me. People will have to show them pictures.
In the general population, there's about a 10 to 11% lifetime risk of developing breast cancer. What we found in families in which there were numerous breast cancers within the family, there's about a 40% lifetime risk. 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have this type of information. We're making great strides in terms of what we know, what we can tell women, and how we can help women make decisions so ultimately they don't get breast cancer.
We want to be able to integrate all these high-risk factors so that we can identify all women in Ontario that would be at such high risk, and then we can actually develop strategies to reduce that risk. We've been very grateful to the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation. It's become a really major contributor, not just to my work, but to breast cancer research in Ontario for many researchers.
Every day in the back recesses of my mind, there's that tiny shadow of what if, and I know I check way more often than I ever used to because I'm afraid that my battle might not be over.
The results of the study were absolutely astounding. 1 in 10 patients who was presumed to have metastatic breast cancer on x-rays actually had benign disease. In 4 out of 10 women, we found that the tumours actually changed their hormone receptors during a biopsy, changed patient management in 1 in 5 women. As a result of this study, global standards of care are changing.
Our outcomes have improved significantly from 10 years ago. I'm comforted to talk to women with breast cancer and give them those numbers and reassure them that the majority of them are going to do quite well. It's because of the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation that allows us to do this research. It will improve their outcomes and improve their care.
It's very exciting and rewarding to be in a field where so much is happening, and we think that the potential is so great that we can change things over the next few years.
Bryn was old enough by the time all of the treatments, really kicked in. She remembers when I lost my hair. She said, "I hope when I grow up I don't get boobies because I don't want them to cut them off." I mean, it's all I can do not to cry because I don't want her to think like that. I'm looking beyond now me to the possibility of my daughters having maybe inherited this genetic mutation too, and I don't want them going through anything that I have. So the foundation, it's raising awareness, it's giving me hope, it's giving me hope for my kids. I know there's going to be a cure, and I hope I'm alive to see it, but I want my girls to witness that. I want my girls to hear that announcement. However we hear about it, whenever we know that there's a cure for this disease, we're going to have the biggest party ever. We're going to have the biggest pink party ever.